My name is Manan Mehta. Today my topic is about the measure of dispersion and it is usefulness. Now what is measure of dispersion? Measure of dispersion, it is observation help to find out how individual observations are dispersed around the mean of a large series. Measure of dispersion divided into two components, first algebraic measure and second graphical measure. Algebraic measure also divided into two components, first absolute measure and second relative measure. Absolute measure also divided into four components, first range, second quartile deviation, third standard deviation and fourth mean deviation. Relative measure also divided into four components, first coefficient of range, second coefficient of variation, third coefficient of quartile deviation and fourth coefficient of mean deviation. Now first, what is range? Range is the simplest method of studying dispersion in the given data. It is defined also as the difference between the highest variable and smallest variable. What is coefficient of range? Coefficient of range is equal to L minus S divided by L plus S, where R equals to range, L equals to larger value and S equals to smallest value. It is indicates the distance between lowest and highest value. Second, the interquartile range or the quartile deviation. The range of a variable, example like a height between the first quartile q1 and third quartile q3 is called interquartile range. Median is the second quartile, it is 2 q2. Half of this range is called semi-quartile range. Interquartile range equals q3 minus q1. Quartile deviation equals to q3 minus q1 divided by 2. Coefficient of quartile deviation equals to q3 minus q1 divided by q3 plus q1. Now what is mean deviation? It is denotes average of the absolute value of deviation of observation from the median value. Coefficient of a mean deviation equals mean deviation divided by x bar. Now what is standard deviation? Standard deviation is an improvement over a mean deviation and variance is a measure of dispersion and is used the most commonly in statistical analysis. The square root of a mean of the squared deviation from the arithmetic mean. Rho equals to under root sigma I equals to 1 upon n di square by n. Coefficient of standard deviation equals to rho divided by x bar. What is usefulness of measure of dispersion? It explains the disparity of data from one another, delivering a precise view of their distribution. The measure of dispersion displayed and gives us an idea about the variation of variation and the central value of an individual item. Measure of dispersion, it is the extent to which values is in a distribution differ from the average of distribution. It gives an idea about the extent to which individual item vary from one another and from the central value. Thank you.